back at verse 7. So now a Samaritan woman comes to the well to draw water. Jesus said to her, "Give me some water to drink." His disciples had gone into the city to buy some food. The Samaritan woman asked him, "Why do you, a Jewish man, ask for something to drink from me, a Samaritan woman?" See, Jews and Samaritans didn't associate with one another. Jesus responds, "If you recognized God's gift and who is saying to you, 'Give me some water,' you would be asking him, and he would give you living water." So the woman recognizes right away, there's a scandal here. There's something, Jesus, you shouldn't be talking to me. One, in this time and place, a single man would not be talking to a woman like this kind of intimate, private conversation. Lo and behold, it's a Jewish man talking to a Samaritan woman. These are enemies. No self-respecting Jew would be having this conversation. Jesus doesn't care. He throws all of that up in the air and says, "No, but this is why I came. I had an appointment to talk with you." And so then he starts to shift the conversation. A little more background on this woman. There's some clues in the text that tell us a lot about who she is, about what she's going through at this time. One of the first clues was the time of day. It says that it was about noon. High noon in the desert. That's the hottest point of the day. And it's the worst time to go to a well to fill up your water jar. In the ancient world, there were two major sources for water. Water is very important everywhere, but especially in the desert. And the two big sources that you're going to be looking for, one is a well. It takes a lot of time and effort. You have to dig down deep into the groundwater. You have to keep it safe and free from debris. The other source, the more coveted source, would have been called living water. That was like a bubbling spring, a brook that was endless. And so if you could find living water, maybe over in the mountains or somewhere, you knew that was a source of pure, clean water that was always going to be fresh, that was going to be coming no matter what. The well water was the source of life that was necessary, but what you really wanted was living water. But based on just the practice of the day, typically it was the women of the town would go and fill up their water jars for their family once or twice a day, but you would never go at high noon. That's the worst time of the day. It's hot, right? We're in the desert here. And so you would go in the morning at dawn, or you would go at dusk when it's nice and cool. And what typically would happen, just still to this day, when we gather around a watering hole, that's when all of the conversation would start, right? You're going to catch up on your life, tell each other how your kids are doing, maybe throw in a little gossip. And so there's a lot of indications in this text that this woman is the topic of conversation for all the other women of the town. Why does she come alone in the hot of the day and not when all the other women are coming at dusk or at dawn to fill up her water jars? It's because they're talking about her. On her face, when she's walking up to this well, thinking she's going to be able to go alone, and lo and behold, there's this man waiting there for her. She's like, "Man, I picked this time so I didn't have to interact with anybody, and now there's this guy here. What does he want, and what is he going to do?" So she's coming to the well alone to fill up her water jar. And now Jesus starts interacting with her. "Will you give me a drink?" Jews don't associate with Samaritans. He flips it on her. "But if you had recognized who I was, you would have asked me, and I would have given you living water." Verse 11 says, the woman said to him, "Sir, you don't have a bucket. Your well is deep. Where would you get this living water? You aren't greater than our father Jacob, are you? He gave this well to us, and he drank from it himself, as did his sons and his livestock." Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks the water I give will never be thirsty again. The water I give him will become in those who drink it a spring of water that bubbles up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I will never be thirsty and I will never need to come here to draw water." Jesus is obviously talking about something beyond just physical drink. He says, actually, I have this source of living water that bubbles up from within you, that overflows out of you so that you will never be thirsty again. And I think one of the most powerful sentences in this story is what the woman says next. "Jesus, give me that water so that I don't have to keep coming here." See, I think that day after day of sneaking around and trying to avoid the crowd and all of the gossip has left her empty and dry. And so not only is she quenching her physical thirst, every day she still has to go to the well to find the water. But it became this kind of like an ongoing metaphor for her life. Every time she went to the well at noon, she was reminded of her deep thirst. She was reminded of how empty she actually felt. It's just not doing it for me. Every single time, it's like this well keeps running dry. And so when all of a sudden she's meeting Jesus and something is shifting within her, and Jesus is offering me this living water that means that I will never be thirsty again. And she immediately says, please give me some of that, because I don't want to have to keep coming to this well to try to quench my thirst. It's just not working.